Find yourself in an unsafe situation. Seconds matter when protecting yourself. Tonight, we are getting a sneak peek inside a self-defense class for women led by O'Fallon, Illinois police. First Alert 4's Kimberly Donahue shows the lessons that could save your life.
Hi, this is Jane. Can I help you?
Jane Stone started pursuing a real estate career 3.5 years ago. That's when she decided to gain more tools for dealing with potentially dangerous situations.
Perhaps I might want to have some more self-defense skills on my own in case a situation might come up. I thought it would be a little bit more important when I was going into homes that sometimes were vacant or in situations that I might be on my own.
No. Last fall, Jane learned about the O'Fallon, Illinois Police Department's Rape Aggression Defense, or R.A.D class, for women. A 4-week course teaching techniques and strategies for when a woman might not be in control of her body.
It is not street fighting, it's not boxing, it's not MMA, it's not mixed martial arts. It is doing what you have to do to defend yourself until you can escape from the situation.
Situations like dealing with unwanted advances in public, avoiding abduction, or sexual assault will all be addressed in June's R.A.D class.
We have 9 hours of learning the techniques and learning the methodology behind R.A.D, and then we have 3 hours of what we call simulations, and we'll actually go through scenarios with participants to allow them to demonstrate.
Stewart says by the end of the courses, he hopes women have the confidence to take on any attacker in a situation where they may feel unsafe. But no!
In the confidence that our participants have shown after they've completed the class, it's really night and day.
Jane says she got just the boost she needed to take on real estate.
I think how you carry yourself, how your confidence level is, and then these things that they taught us are the things that can make a difference just walking down the street.
In O'Fallon, Illinois, Kimberly Donahue, First Alert 4.
Well, Stone says the success of the course encouraged her to help design a similar class for real estate agents. The O'Fallon, Illinois Police Department's class is limited to 20 women. You don't need to be a resident. We'll have more details and a link to apply for that class on firstalertfor.com.